Hey guys, Lee with LG Speed and Custom here, and in this video we are once again working on RL's 47 Ford. So I know exactly what you're thinking. Wait a minute, I thought you were done with RL's 47 Ford. And yes, we were. This car has been done for over 5 months now, and just been waiting for RL to get his shipping situation arranged, because this car's got to go from Victoria, BC, where I live, all the way to Texas, where RL lives. There's a got to go through the border, so that's a whole situation that's got to be dealt with, and yeah, it's been a little bit of a time-consuming process. Normally it doesn't take this long, but RL had a couple shipping options that they didn't pan out, so we'd have to look for a plan B, plan C, plan D. I think we're on plan E right now. Plan E is I am going to deliver this car to Washington State. I'm going to take it to Port Angeles, Washington tomorrow, which is not very far from where I'm at. The only catch, however, is I'm on an island, which means I have to take a ferry. There is a ferry that goes directly from the downtown Victoria Harbor, which is about 10 minutes that way. Nice short drive. And then from there, we got like a 2-hour ferry ride to Port Angeles, Washington, where a transport truck is going to meet us tomorrow afternoon and take this car the rest of the way to Texas. So what are we starting this video out on? Well, for starters, this car's been sitting here for 5 months, so I just put a battery charger on it now. The battery was okay. It was reading like 12.2 volts this morning, and I just checked it now, and I think we're up to 12.7, so the battery wasn't stone dead. But I still want to charge the battery up and get the car running today, just to make sure everything's happy before we leave here bright and early tomorrow morning, trying to catch a ferry that leaves at a specific time. The gas is well over a year old in this car now. I sold this car to RL 13 or 14 months ago, so it's been sitting here a while. It's got stale gas in it. I'm sure it'll still run though. One of the previous videos, we were installing a tach for RL. Jim was working on that, and it was a vintage tach that unfortunately didn't work. So I sent the tach back to RL, and he was gonna have it serviced or rebuilt or whatever. And long story short, it got lost at USPS somewhere. I sent it with this like third-party shipping company that I didn't realize was just subcontracting it out to United States Postal Service. It never made it to RL, and unfortunately, neither United States Postal Service nor the third-party shipping company that I was working with took any accountability for it, so it sucks. It's gone. Don't know what happened to it. In the meantime, however, RL has shipped us a new Stewart Warner tach, which is good looking tach. It matches the other Stewart Warner gauges that are already in this car, and a little cup to mount it up on the steering column. So while we wait for the battery to kind of charge up, let's put this in. Well, this is going great right off the bat. So here's our new Stewart Warner tach, and then RL also supplied, this is just a Speedway 3 3/8 tach cup. Pretty straightforward item. However, when I went to test fit it, we've got this like gap right here, and that is because, oh nice, it's got a big scratch in it too. If you're watching this RL, I didn't do that. Came out of the box like that. Yeah, see these studs on the back that are like an inch long, which definitely don't need to be an inch long? They are hitting the back of the cup here. So I think we can still make this work. We're just gonna, that doesn't need to be that long. These could be sticking out like 3/8 of an inch and it would still work perfectly fine. So, ooh, I just thought of though, where is the light socket? How deep does that light socket sit in here? That might not fit. Oh no, we'll be okay. It'll be fine. It sits good. It'll be all right. All right, let's start with, we'll just grab a zip disc and just wing these down. Well, that fits great in there now. However, I've noticed a new problem, and that is there's no way for the wires, oh hey, there's no way for the wires to come out of here. Originally I thought they would just come out of this slot here, but that is such a tight fit, that's not going to work at all. So I think I'll drill probably in the bottom here. Let's drill a hole down there. I don't know, a 1/2-inch hole or whatever. We'll put a grommet on it, and then we got a spot for the wires to come out right down by where it attaches onto the steering column. Their hole drilled, we can successfully install our grommet. With our grommet installed, we can go ahead and start wiring this up now. So the car already has wiring for like off of the coil coming to the dash. So I'm just gonna add a couple wires on here and then we'll just connect them together under there. These are really easy to hook up and it's all labeled on the back. You got a positive, which is your 12-volt key power. When you turn the key on, it sends power to there. You got your negative, which is just a ground. This wire will get hooked to the ground wire from the last tach that was in there, which is grounded right to the engine block. And then we've got our signal wire, and this one goes to the negative side of the coil, or the side of the coil that the distributor hooks up to. We also have a headlight up here, or not a headlight, but like just a light for the tach that would normally get wired into your headlight switch, but I always cheat on those because that's a lot of extra wiring. I just hook it up to, I got the ground side already done, it's going to the negative here, and this is our power wire for the light, and I'm going to wire it in with the power wire from our key. I forgot to get a terminal. Okay, so yeah, I just hook them up to the key power. So essentially your tach light will not come on with your dash lights, but instead it just comes on when you turn the key on, which that's how I've always wired gauges, just because it's a lot easier. It's less wires that you have to run. And why wouldn't you want your tach light to be on all the time? That's going to go on there, and take one of these nuts. Notice that I already have the nuts on here. That is because when I cut the studs off, or cut them down, I threaded the nuts on so that as you unthread the nut, it just cleans the threads up from cutting them. One more signal wire to run, and then we can feed these wires through the tach, or through the cup, I should say, and hook the rest up in the car. Tach wiring, done. Gonna do this out here just because it's easier than trying to do it in the car. So our signal wires through, our ground wire, and our power wire. Just gonna pull these gently as I push this in. Blammo. Oh, you know what I should have done first? Let's put loom on there. Oh well, it'll be okay. We can fit our loom once we get these done. I've just mounted the tach to the steering column. They just go on with a hose clamp, same as the turn signal switch attaches with a hose clamp. That's pretty standard. These wires now, by the way, I took this back out and put some electrical tape on there just so that when we do put loom on, if the loom doesn't reach all the way in, at least it's not bright colors, it's black and you won't notice it in there. Let's undo this cable tie right here, and we'll take this wiring harness here and we'll put it inside this loom where it will run inside of here. So our red wire, we need to go to key power so that when you turn the key on, it gets power, which is this fuse panel here. We've got 3 empty circuits available, so we'll probably just use this one here. So our red wire is gonna go in there with small fuse. I would assume probably a 5 amp fuse. I don't know how big it needs. I'll look into that. And then our purple wire is our tack signal wire, and our black wire is the ground wire. They're gonna go through the firewall right here, come out onto this side, which I've already taken the loom off. So they'll go in this harness here, and here is our original tack wires. We've got our purple one that goes to the coil, and then we've got our black one that grounds right to here. So we'll just put some spade connectors on there, and they can just attach to there. If you ever need to take the tack out, or if you're gonna pull the engine out, you can just undo it here and your wiring harness is separated. All right, we're all wired up in here. You never even know that we were in here. We've got our 5 amp fuse going into the fuse panel there. We'll come around on this side. We're all back together in there. Let's find the keys for this thing and see if it works. Put our key in. This tack is already calibrated for a V8. Is this the right key? It's been so long since I've driven this car. It's got to be the right key. It's the only unaccounted for key on my key rack. Okay, we might need some lube on this. Stand by. On this episode, we show you how to take the ignition out so you can hotwire and steal an early Ford. I lost the keys for this car. Looked everywhere for them, can't find them, and I'm pretty sure, so I sold another vehicle 2-3 weeks ago that had locking gas caps, 2 locking gas caps, and I'm pretty sure I gave the person who bought that vehicle the ignition key for this, mistaking it for a locking gas cap key for the other vehicle. So I've got the cylinder out now, which allowed me to unlock the ignition switch and the steering, and I'm going to see if I can get a new key cut for this before tomorrow morning, hopefully. Super easy to get out. In the bottom, there is a plug right there, and if you drill a hole in that plug, tap it for an 832 screw, you can then grab the screw with like a pair of pliers or something and pull that out, and when that comes out, your ignition lock comes out. So we'll worry about that in a minute here. If I turn the key on, our tack just blipped and is zeroed out. Let's see what happens when we crank it over. Nothing. Oh, I think I got to take the battery terminals off and clean them up here. Stand by. This is why we're doing this today instead of just hopping in the car tomorrow morning and hitting the road. I'm pretty sure this is why we were having battery starting issues. That's actually all melted. So we'll throw that one over there, and I had one that's like brand new sitting here. So we'll put that back on and try this again. New battery cable installed. Let's try this again. There we go. All right. Probably gonna have to prime the carburetor, and we'll try to see if it fires up. Dump some gas down the carb here and crank it over, see what happens. That should be enough to fire it. Might have to do this one more time. Sometimes it doesn't catch right away. Key on. Give it a little shot more here. Sediment bowl looks like it's got some other skunky gas, not the skunky gas that was in it, but Hit it one more time. Third time's the charm, right? Put lots in there. It's sounding promising though. Oh, is it gonna go? Is it gonna go? All right. It's like it's like we just drove it yesterday. It definitely smells like gas from 13, 14 months ago. It doesn't smell awesome, but it's running. I think I'll let it just run and warm up for a little bit here. I almost forgot, the whole reason we're doing this is to try the tacho. Yeah. The tack and the oil pressure gauge kind of go up together. Oh, I guess that kind of makes sense. Hi, Shane. Shane just watched me vacuum all the cobwebs out of this thing. It's come up to operating temperature here. We still got like 10 pounds oil pressure, so tack's still doing tack things. It's looking good, Shane. Yeah. Just gonna go move it to the other side here and make sure everything's still happy, and we still got, you know, brakes and stuff. Yeah, brakes feel good. The backup gear works good. I checked the voltage on the battery when it was still running. It was 14.6, so it's charging good. Oh yeah, look at this lineup. Crazy, I haven't driven this car in like well over a year now. But now that I'm back behind the wheel, it feels like I was driving it yesterday. All right, I think we're good. I think we're good to hit the road tomorrow morning. Port Angeles. The ferry leaves at, I think, 10 a.m., which means I got to be there at 9 a.m. because it's an international crossing. So just like when you go to the airport and you're doing like an international flight, you got to be there early to go through customs and all that stuff. So we leave here around 8:30. We should be there for 9, get on the boat for 10. Just going to put us in Port Angeles for about noon. And the truck is supposed to arrive between 1 and 4. And then the ferry coming back, because I got to get back home. So the ferry leaving Port Angeles to come back to Victoria is, I think, at 5. So by the time I get through customs again, it'll be like 9 o'clock by the time I get home. Big day. Good morning. It is 2 months later, just a little over 2 months actually. The truck that we were supposed to go meet in Port Angeles canceled. So thankfully I called them before we went down there. Otherwise that would have been a waste of a 12-hour day. Yeah, 2 months later, and RL's got another arrangement. So we're heading over to the Coho ferry downtown right now. We're gonna catch that ferry and then meet Papa's Towing in Port Angeles, and he's gonna store the car for RL. The issue that RL is having is, a transport truck can't commit to the 3-hour window between when the ferry gets there and when the next ferry returns. They want like a 3 to 4 day window, and I don't want to hang out in Port Angeles for 4 days. So Papa's Towing has agreed to store the car for the 3-4 days, and then a transport truck can just pick it up from there. I'm gonna stop at the gas station real quick because the gas that's in this car is well over a year old, and I also have no idea how much gas is in it, and it seems to be running okay. It's got got a couple cobwebs in it, but I'm more concerned about running out of gas getting on and off the ferry, because I don't need that kind of anxiety in my life. Well, I made it downtown. We're in line for the 10:30 sailing. While we're sitting here waiting, RL asked me to include in this video just like starting instructions. So let's do that. All right, down here we've got the key. The key, when you turn it to the right, locks the column, as well as locks this switch. So if you turn it to the left, and you'll see this little pin come out, that unlocks the column and unlocks the switch, the on-off switch. To start it, flick that to on, and then over on this side of the dash, if you push the clutch in, is just a starter button. Sometimes this button, you got to put a little sideways pressure on it. So if you ever push the button and nothing happens, that's why. And then to shut the car off, just turn the switch to off. You don't have to turn the key if you don't want to, if you live in like a safe area or whatever. And right here is just a manual choke. Just works like any other manual choke. And that is basically all there is to start this car. The fuel pressure gauge, or the fuel gauge, is not accurate at all, despite being a brand new sending unit. And it's the correct Vintiques sending unit, which is designed for this car. But is it going to read anything right now? Yeah, I don't know if it's reading anything right now or not. But anyways, when you fill the tank right full, the gauge only reads half a tank. And likewise, when you get to empty on the gauge, you still have about a half a tank left. So if I'm on a road trip and I see that it hits a half a tank, I know I got a little bit to go. But like this morning when it was sitting on empty, I don't know if that's a half a tank empty or empty. So I stopped and I put like 53 bucks worth of fuel in it, and that brought it up to about a quarter tank. So it should have lots of gas in it now. It's a mix of fresh gas with 1.5 year old gas, but it seems to be running okay. So it's got, I think, a good road trip would really help this car blow all the cobwebs out. Other than that, we've got the headlight switch right here. This is the horn, just a horn button. This used to be the throttle. It is now hooked up for a 2-speed wipers. Over here we've got the cigarette lighter, which I don't know if the actual lighter itself works, but that 12-volt charging port does work. Down here we have the heater, which is something I'm sure RL will use a lot in Texas. You turn it one way and it blows hot air out of these vents, or you flick it the other way and then it sucks the air in here and blows it out the defrost vents up here. Radio doesn't work, it's just filling the hole. All the dash lights and everything work as they should. Power windows, RL knows all about. Up, down, and that's pretty much all there is to this car.
Mm-hmm.
have made it to Port Angeles. So this building right here, that's where we're gonna meet the guy to pick up the 47. All right, we've made it to Port Angeles, Washington. So we're just gonna hang out here at the visitor center and wait for David to come pick it up, and then away it goes. The downside for me is the ferry is leaving to go back right now, which obviously I'm gonna miss, and the next one is not until 5:15. So I got like 4 hours to hang out in beautiful Port Angeles. I'm getting kind of hungry, so probably have a snack and wander around, wait for the next boat. All right, well, the 47 is gone. So I'm gonna go get some food, wander around, maybe check out Marketplace. There might be something cool to find. I saw this cool 63 Galaxy. Drove by earlier. There's a young mom driving it with a bunch of kids in the back, which is really cool. So thanks everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed the car RL. It was a ton of fun building it for you. Yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on the next video. And as always, make sure to exit through the gift shop.